Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Trash Talk podcast. Sadly, this is the last podcast.
Yeah.
At least hosted by us. Jimmy Kimmel is taking over the show, and
Yep.
we're
Jimmy
getting
Kimmel's
kicked out.
taken over.
So,
Well, the rent was unfortunately overdue in Trash Talk Towers for a long time, guys. As you guys know, we funded it through stolen cryptocurrency. The business was shattering. As you guys know, cryptocurrency is completely going downhill now. I mean, just look at Elon Musk completely bombed it on SNL a while back. It hasn't been in a good state since then. Jay Leno is taking over the show. However, we mustn't forget, other celebrity guest hosts that will be taking over Trash Talk, including Jimmy Kimmel's cousin, Donald Trump, is going to be taking over the Trash Talk podcast as well. So it is an unfortunate thing.
wow, that's pretty cool, Ryan. I'm probably gonna end up cutting that out because it wasn't that funny. So a
I
lot
couldn't
of
think of who it was.
a lot of cool stuff happened this week. For example, the Paralympic Games started. Ooh,
Ooh, all right, there we go.
that's interesting. I learned that there is wheelchair rugby. I didn't know they had that, and I started watching it.
Wheelchair rugby.
Yeah, it's actually like pretty cool.
I never even knew wheelchair rugby was a thing. The only experience I've ever had with a wheelchair is just getting picked on by little kids and pushed downstairs by that one bastard who doesn't like me. Unfortunately.
Oh, wow,
But here we go.
Or
We
you
live
could
in a
have played
society.
rugby.
Wheelchair rugby, everybody. So, what's it about, Emil?
It's I mean they
Oh, could
obviously
have.
obviously don't play on like a standing pitch, like from
Yeah,
rugby
I
7.
wonder why.
Yeah,
I
because
wonder why.
it's way too big, right? So what they do in the Olympics is they use the basketball court and they just take out the baskets. And what they have to do, it's kind of basically the same sort of rules. There's like a gap in each side of the pitch, and that's where the player with the ball has to go through in order to score a point. So it's kind of the same. There are some rules, like in a way, it is a bit like hockey, because of some of the rules are like if one player commits a foul, they get sent to a timeout spot, kind of like in hockey, because that doesn't happen in rugby.
I I think a timeout in rugby is constituted by spending a night in the morgue. I feel like rugby has really set a precedent for increasing the amount of deaths present in morgues
Uh,
nowadays. So I'm very happy to hear that they have that under control. That's great.
Actually, fun fact: there are more head injuries in the NFL than in rugby.
That would explain why everyone thinks the Packers are a good team. That's actually would
No,
explain a
they're a
lot.
pretty good team. I mean, it's just that,
I mean, I don't
the
know about that
Steelers are
one.
still salty since 2011. We were gonna get back-to-back championships.
The Packers lost to Tampa Bay, guys. Come on. The team that's considered one of the worst before
Dude,
Tom Brady.
the Steelers lost to the Browns. Okay?
Just because
The
the was rigged.
Browns. A team
The
that had
Browns were
never
paid off.
won a playoff game.
Guys, we all know what happens in the football league. You get a really salty coach from another team. In this case, the Steelers coach was probably fired, was hired by the Browns. He was paid off. And then he was like, hey, bro, if you throw this match to us, we'll give you some sweet moolah in the bank to pay off your growing, probably alimony debt inherited from me because I transfer that to people. But fortunately,
so,
that's the real reason
so
why the
basically,
Steelers
you
lost.
fucked up the Steelers by giving
Oh,
the
shit.
Steelers coach your
Oh, no.
alimony debt.
Let it be known the Steelers lost because I gave them my alimony debt.
Uh, no, but the Paralympics are very cool, very interesting. I did have like one complaint. I was watching the other day the long jump, right? And the majority of these athletes are blind, and I found it
Oh, okay.
very weird that the whatchamacallit, the stream, the official Paralympic stream didn't have any commentary, so it's a bit weird. It's like
I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of the Paralympics. It's great that people with disabilities, for example, have a chance to compete in a competitive scene, which is fantastic. I've
but
known people that could compete in the Paralympics, and I'm sure they would do fantastic as well. especially with having equal opportunities for everybody kind of thing. Of course, unfortunately, the small dick Olympics for people with certain disabilities hasn't been made yet, but Emilio and I will be the host of that when it is made, though.
Oh,
Well, actually, no, just Emilio.
so
Just
where was
Emilio.
this going regarding the no commentary on the blind sports?
Well, I just wanted to point out the fact we talked about before the episode that we wanted to, people are oppressed nowadays, men specifically that have small dicks. You would be like, I think biggest example of that. Not biggest in this
Well,
case,
I
but
mean, there's men that don't have dicks, so uh,
Well, in that case, I should be part of that. Like, oh, wait, fuck.
uh, cool. Ryan's trying to be J.K. Rowling right now.
J.K. Rowling,
Uh,
no. Don't even get me started on it. But seriously though, when it comes to like the blind, like Paralympics, for example, that's great to hear though. Like I never knew that was such a big thing though, to be honest.
yeah,
Because when we talked about the Olympics prior, there were a lot of events that Emilio talked about that I wasn't fully aware of. Obviously, the track events and whatnot, sure, I knew about those.
yeah.
But certain ones, for example, I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, right now I was watching swimming, and there was this guy that survived a shark attack. So good luck swimming against that guy. This guy can take on a shark. You're kind of a fucking pussy next to him. Uh,
Well, I mean, we share one thing in common then. We're both dickless. So I feel like we could be like really good friends, I think.
I never said he lost his dick.
Just let my fantasy roll, please, man. I need this. I don't know anyone else that doesn't have a penis just like myself. I really need this.
Well, okay. I don't know how this won't get us canceled. Uh, no, but the Paralympics are cool. You should check them out if you have the opportunity. It's just a little hard right now because to watch them because it's you have to wake up at super early in the morning, and
Oh god.
they're not like the Olympics because those are obviously done when most people are in like summer break or summer vacation, so it's more like accessible to watch them. So they kind of did the Paralympics dirty for putting them almost in September.
Yeah, in that case, then I feel like they should be televised, I think, throughout the year. I would have it go like when major sporting events like later in the year going, like football, for example, prominent time during the fall. People have it's not during the summer period, granted, but football is more accessible to people during certain times of the year. Have it played during those times.
I don't think that's what I mean. I meant just like, well, I mean, not really because the NFL is mainly watched in the United States, so it's not like you have to wake up at 6 in the morning to watch the Cowboys or whatever.
Uh, does that mean we have to? Okay, never mind then. Well, I guess we'll have to create our own league then someday, guys. Unfortunately. However, though, but it is cool to hear about the Paralympics, though. Not
Yeah,
something that I don't honestly know anybody else that had just really discussed it personally that I know,
because
but
you're
it is still cool to
ableist.
hear about it. No. Why is that the first thought that goes to your mind? Just because, okay, so Emilio here is just jealous because he wants to join my secret club and I wouldn't let him. So I think this is just his way of getting back at me. So it's
Well, I
okay.
don't know. It
Some,
sounds pretty cool. You guys like scream a lot. It means you guys are
I
having
mean,
fun.
we bang on walls a lot too. Liquid drips from the ceiling. Like it's a fun time. You wish you were there.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty epic. I feel like you guys are playing like I don't know, Scrabble. I got pretty
I
excited
mean, yeah.
playing Scrabble.
Well, we did break a few windows with some Scrabble pieces once. We were actually watching Smelly Cheese videos at the time. That's what got us so rowdy at the time. So yeah, you were there though in spirit.
That's cool. Anyways, the list is infinite, guys. The list of topics I pick up
Yeah.
during the week.
Basically, Emilio's admitting he lied last time when he said the list was basically done.
Yeah, we
So now
weren't recording that time. We were off camera when we discussed that.
I should say you
Dude,
lied.
dude, you're like a reality TV star now. You don't even tell. You can't even tell what's real and what's fake. Oh my
You know
god!
what?
You're
on
like
Trash
you're
Talk
like
podcast,
Bolt. You're like Bolt
we
from the movie Bolt.
we make reality though. This is the trash talk first. Anything can happen. And in this case, I feel like Emilio made it public knowledge when the camera wasn't rolling, when the audio wasn't recording. Everyone found out that he lied about the list.
So
So that's the
yeah,
reality we're making.
So Ryan sometimes is worried that we're not gonna have anything to talk about, and I one time, so I have a list on my phone of topics that stuff that happened during the week that I thought would be kind of interesting to
I
talk
was
about that. For
I
some
was
reason here I have best friend stolen because steroid deal gone wrong. I don't
oh
know
my
what that
god,
means.
man. Emilio was probably high at the time, as he usually is off camera. Like when we're not recording these
Yeah, dude,
episodes.
because I'm not a pussy like you.
Well, like, see, some of us do really good addictions that don't get, would get us canceled on social media. For example, if you said you smoked weed, for example, you might get some hate. But if I say my addiction on social media, then I won't get any hate at all. For example, huffing toilet water isn't seen as like this illegal act. So I feel like I'd be in the clear more than you
Yeah,
might.
I guess it is an illegal.
All
My
right, great,
addiction is
great.
just loving this podcast so much. Um,
The cheesiest rom-com bullshit I've heard this entire episode.
so say a number between 1 and 50. Because the list is
Uh,
infinite. There's 50 topics here.
Man, I was so excited too when Amelia said last time the list was done. I'm like, yes, I'm finally free. And he's like, hey, bro, I got the list is now infinite again. I'm like, fuck. Well, here we are again. Okay, fine. Let me see if I remember how to count. 100.
No, you always
That's
do
not,
that joke when I tell you to say a number between some
all
and
right,
some.
fine. The letter Z.
So
Fine.
this is
48.
why we're being replaced with Jimmy Kimmel.
We're
Uh,
Jimmy Kimmel, not Donald Trump, guys. I lied to you all. I'm changing reality again in the trash talk
this
verse. It's
show,
actually not.
this show is already gonna get banned.
It's gonna get banned, so we may as well go all the way, guys. May I present famous serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, who will also be taking over. So
That's real
Mr.
cool.
Dahmer will be invited on
I
now.
actually, every time I open the YouTube Studio app for my second channel, there's a huge warning label that's like, your content could be harmful. Please be careful in the future,
I
or you will
wonder,
be banned.
I wonder why. Definitely has nothing to do with YouTube falsely flagging a video about an election, not even in the
Yeah,
same country.
go watch that episode. So horoscopes. It's what you get at the back of magazines. I don't know where people
Or
find
the backs of
horoscope.
bands, if you're creative.
But I have a rule now with my life. I do not mess with horoscopes anymore after the following incident. I don't think I've ever told the story on the podcast, but it's the weirdest coincidence that has ever occurred in my life.
Amelia and
So
I are both balding at the same time.
no. Oh shit.
Dang it. Like you just had to double check, like, shit, I still got it right.
No. So this happened when I was traveling with the school, and we traveled by plane. Anyway, so on the last day of the trip, we're just kind of goofing off, reading horoscopes, and I don't know, I was pretty skeptical of horoscopes, so I read someone else my horoscope. I'm a Leo, by the way, and I read them.
I'm so glad I know that information. That's great.
I read them my horoscope and tell them it was theirs, and then I was like, that's not your real horoscopes. They just tell the same thing to everybody. But my horoscope said you should not travel by plane today. Exactly the day we were supposed to return. Anyways. So it's a little bit weird.
And then that's why, and it was at this moment that the plane exploded. Amelia was the only survivor, and he
Yeah.
went on to do a shitty podcast years later from his death-defying experience.
Anyways, so I read this podcast to my friend, and then we we go to the airport, we get on the plane, and just regular flight, and then the person I read the horoscope to had a seizure in the middle of the flight. Like,
Jeez.
Jesus. Yeah, I know. It was really fucking weird.
What? What?
Yeah.
Do you have any enemies, bro? Like some with a voodoo doll that got the guy next to you instead when they were trying to aim for you?
Maybe. I don't know. My friend was a couple of rows back. But yeah, she had like a seizure in the middle of a flight. So it was like very scary, and we were like, I had like my own little group of friends, right, that I made there, and the tour guide came up to me and was like, did she ever like mention like any allergies, like any like condition? And we're like, no, I don't think so. She never said anything. So yeah, that's why I do not mess with horoscopes anymore. You know, probably just a
Uh,
coincidence, but it's still like
I'm
really
just saying.
weird.
That is a weird coincidence. I've never even thought about that. Horoscopes is never something I've read into personally. For those of you who didn't know, I'm a Sagittarius. You
Ooh,
know, I
you
get
got
my
one of
Reddit
those
karma now.
personalities. Is
Yeah, I'm one of those special individuals, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
No, but I've never personally gotten into reading horoscopes. I will say this though, that's the only story I've ever heard about someone experiencing their horoscope in real life. And I'm like, that is weird, man.
yeah,
The fact that that happened on
yeah.
the same flight, the same day you read that, yeah, I would just burn all newspapers I come across now. Every time I see a horoscope, be like, nope, I
Yeah,
carry matches for this exact moment.
when I arrived in my city, I was like, "Okay, Mom, I need you to take me to the nearest church. I need an exorcism." Um, like, I do have a friend that had an exorcism performed on them when they were like little.
Wait,
Yeah, and
what?
yeah. I don't know why. They just like we were talking about like these sort of like weird voodoo things that might have happened to us. And this girl said, "Oh yeah, when I was little, they performed an exorcism on me." I don't remember why they performed it. I was just kind of in shock. I thought they didn't actually did exorcisms. I thought that was just in movies. Uh,
God. I don't even know what to say to that one. I mean, holy
yeah,
crap, I've never even heard an actual account of that done. I remember there was actually I do have a story similar to it. A few of my friends told me before, like years back, like morons, they three of them were staying over at a friend's house and they played with a Ouija board. And they figured, hey, let's just mess with that once. We'll see what happens. You know, they didn't think anything was going to go down, so they used the Ouija board to contact any spirits, and they were scared the shit. The shit was scared out of them that night because apparently the lights turned out on them, the TV turned on and off. They heard weird noises. They were so freaked out they never used the Ouija board again after that, which was crazy to me. Like I wouldn't fuck with that anyway in the first place. But I'm just saying, that's the only I think supernatural story I'd have. Definitely nothing like an exorcism.
yeah, no. But I thought it would be interesting actually right now to Google our horoscopes,
Oh,
and
great.
next week we would see what if it came true.
Yep. Just another idea we're not ripping off of Jack's films, who's definitely not never done any horoscopes on his podcast.
Yeah, but those are like made up horoscopes. We're gonna read the
I
real
mean,
thing.
oh man, I was gonna say it would be better if we could make up our own horoscopes. For example, Emilio here is a Leo. In exactly 48 hours, you will shit yourself in front of your future wife.
I'm gonna meet my wife at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, sure. I mean, for example, I'll call you at 5 a.m. and then when you pick up the phone and you shoot yourself that exact moment, we will be destined to be together.
So
That much I'm thinking.
we're gonna go with a horoscope from Vogue magazine,
Oh,
trusted
great.
source.
I don't even know who these guys are, so I
You
can't
don't know
attest to
what
that.
Vogue magazine is? I mean,
I've never read them.
I don't read them either, but I know they're like a big fashion magazine.
As you guys can tell from my Flash T-shirt, I know a lot about the fashion world. I
As you
am a
know from
fashion
my
guru.
as you can tell from my Walmart apparel vibe. So okay,
As
so
you guys can tell
Sagittarius.
from my shoplifting spree, you guys know I have great fashion taste.
Okay, so here we go. Sagittarius. Nothing in our life is without purpose, especially not our closest ties. Today, you're being asked to honor both your family and your soul circle. The people who make your days a little more tolerable and give you a reason to stay hopeful in an otherwise dreary world. It's true that you are facing some differences on the interpersonal front, but these differences are merely an invitation to look within and do the work. Trust that the gift of unconditional love will heal and transform these bonds. Cosmic tip: honor your soul connection, Sagittarius. So, what do you think about that?
Uh,
It's raining, hold on.
No, I think as far as the horoscope goes, aside from whatever that was, we'll say I like the idea of forming bonds and relationships with your family and having them part of your circle of sorts in a world that couldn't give a crap less about you. So in order to better
Yeah, no,
myself,
shut the fuck up, pod. A horoscope. Tell me how I'm gonna die. That's what I care about.
no, I don't want to know how I die, though. I mean, at this point, I feel like if I stare into Emilio so long enough, my eyes are just going to burn out anyway. So if I do that real quick,
I feel like that
I won't
wouldn't happen, but I feel like that would happen to me, but whatever.
Okay, is it working?
No, most of the times when I'm talking to you, I just stare at the Avengers poster in the back.
Ah, shit. You can't see anything now. What are you going to do now?
Anyways, what about where it says, it's true that you're facing some differences on the interpersonal front?
I
Ooh.
mean, I can't really think of anything. Differences on the interpersonal plane. I mean, outside of Emilio, I can't really think of anything in my life that would be contributing to that problem. I mean, my friends and family wouldn't be it. My personal life, I can't really think of anything outside of no, and not anything. So it's just Emilio. That's the only thing I could think of.
Well, you gotta solve that. So please leave.
All right. Let me find my phone. I need my hitman on speed dial. Give me a sec, guys.
Yo, where the frick is Leo? Okay. Well, I guess they don't have my horoscope.
Yeah. See, this just means you're not good enough for a horoscope, then.
Let's see what it says for September, for this upcoming month.
All right, let's see what we got.
Hopefully they have my sign. I am a Leo.
Well, I don't know if that's something to be proud of, but hey, Sagittarius Club for life. Yeah, but Sagittarius is clearly better. I mean,
what even is a Sagittarius, bro? This is a Leo.
Sagittarius are centaurs with bows and arrows. They're very cool warrior figures, and they could probably. You're a lion, right? Since you're a Leo, they could probably.
Lions are cool, bro. How many? Oh, I can't wait to see the Sagittarius King. No, dude, it's called the Lion King.
Have you not seen Hercules? There's plenty of Sagittarius representation in Hercules.
I just want to know what's going to happen to me this month.
He will finally get laid. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Finally, I'm going to beat Ryan.
Finally, well, as far as he knows anyway. No, unfortunately, it hasn't transpired for me yet, but one day, guys, one day. As long as I beat Emilio, that's all I care about.
Well, how does that work? Because, say we both get laid next week. Technically,
man.
If you do it on Monday and I do it on Wednesday, technically I beat you because I was younger.
I will beat you just in the event of doing it because of 2 words for my secret method. Pool filter. That technically counts, and I will beat you.
Aries, Taurus, Gemini.
Do they really not have Leo on there?
Cancer. Oh, it's Leo. This is me. Okay, so this one's going to happen to me this month. Doing what's best for you and your family will be a major priority of yours this month. Sacrifices may be necessary to ease any psychological burdens that you or your loved ones are facing now. If you feel compelled to take the lead with serious decision-making, remind yourself that you have nothing to prove to anyone. Yeah, duh. Grounded and well-thought-out financial decisions may require another perspective. Do what's right for you while simultaneously elevating others. That's what I always do. I don't see why they would recommend it. It's what I regularly do. So I think this is wrong.
Sure, buddy. Sure. You keep telling yourself that. I think it'll work well for you.
Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Hold on, let me drink some water.
A piano will fall on you as soon as you walk out of your house. Oh, wow. How epic. Thank you.
You have someone very toxic in your life who you do something in the creative field. What does that mean?
I wonder who that could be.
It's probably the nostalgia factor. That guy's pretty toxic. Clearly, I don't like it.
It's Ryan from The Boss Hero official. Hey, that guy sucks.
Getting serious in your professional life will enable you to refine the work that you and that you do and to produce better results that are noticed by many.
Finally, my
Self-motivation
OnlyFans is taken off. Yes.
Self-motivation is essential as friends and social gatherings could financially distract you from long-term goals.
With
Essentially,
that much money in debt.
the two you have to cut out the one friend you have. You know, your imaginary friend.
Buddy, it was good knowing you, but I have to go pursue my dreams now. Now, if you excuse me, I have a family meeting to attend to for my alimony debt. Thank you.
Thank you, horoscope.
It was. Thank you, horoscope. Very epic.
Vigorously chasing your dream will boost your optimism. However, you must continue to check in with yourself. Make sure that you aren't sacrificing your well-being to give to others or to make your dreams manifest faster.
I guess I'm not giving enough to myself. I suppose in that case, then I'm giving too much to other people. I guess in that case, then.
You don't do anything on this show, so I don't really know what they mean by that.
I mean, that's yeah, right. I was gonna say, I guess if I'm gonna start doing it, might as well start small. Emilio, give me back my fursuit collection. I'm taking back what's mine. I'm thinking for myself now. I'm doing what's best for me.
Mine's to take grounded and well thought out financial decisions, and I just decided I'm gonna sell them for profit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, damn it. I thought you were thinking for a second. As soon as I thought about it, I'm like, Ryan in conjunction with financial well-being and paying off debts. Do you remember you know what the term alimony means? You sure you know what debts mean? I need my fursuit collection back.
So, I don't know. I'm curious to see how... Do you know, like, any sites that give out, like, predictions or
horoscopes? Crap.
Maybe we could...
Okay, so...
I don't know. What are we going to say?
I'm going to say the one thing that horoscopes, seriously, no. I've never looked up horoscopes online. The one thing I do know... Well, the one thing I do know about, though, which we could maybe do for a future episode... do you remember this... what's the name of it? It's that genie site that you like.
Oh, I was literally about to tell you we should check out Akinator.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, Akinator. I loved using Akinator. Like it. For those of you who don't know what Akinator is a site that it gives you a set of questions and you basically answer these questions to see if Akinator can guess the character, both fictional or real, that you're thinking of. A lot of the time I've used Akinator, with the exception of a few, it's pretty accurate. And you can even add a character in that Akinator doesn't have logged into its database either, which I think I've submitted like 2 or 3, I think, in the past.
Okay.
But Akinator is a good site to use.
So we're gonna play it, I guess. We can do one round.
Sure, we'll do Akinator. Wait, we need a character though.
Okay, we can try it some other time. I don't know why it's so slow, but anyways. Pick a number between 1 and 40 if you don't want to keep talking about horoscopes.
All right. Thank goodness, because I know nothing about horoscopes. All right. Let's see here. 25. It's secretly Akinator. It's 25. We already wasted a topic as is.
Frick. Let's introduce the podcast. So, hey, what's up, everybody? Crap. Welcome back to the Trash Talk Podcast, the show where
I'm Emilio, and that's Ryan.
And I'm Awesome Bros, Cole from Legion Entertainment.
And I'm Nucopia Demon from Nucopia Demon. Nice to meet you guys.
Oh, that's cool. No, pick a number between 1 and 16.
1 and 16. 10.
10? That would be... Okay, so... Weird thing happened in the gaming sphere. By the way, happy International Gaming Day. Gamer Day. Yeah.
Happy Gamer Day, guys. How epic.
Yeah, if you're a gamer and then you're probably racist.
Emilio's just jealous that he's not good at games. I mean, come on, guys. Pretty obvious.
I'm good at the game of life. Anyways, so let me read this headline to you. Fortnite adds Martin Luther King to the game.
Wait, what? Is that real?
Yes. Here's the article. History is no game, but the developers of Fortnite are adding an iconic moment featuring Martin Luther King Jr. to the popular video game. and some people worry it sends the wrong message about the civil rights
Uh,
leader. Fortnite said it's partnering with Time Studios to go back in time, adding a new virtual experience featuring King's I Have a Dream speech. The experience, called March Through Time, teleports players back to a reimagined Washington, D.C. in 1963, where King delivered the speech during the March on Washington. Throughout the game, players will travel to the Lincoln Memorial and the National Mall, where King gave his famous speech.
okay, so first off, that's the most random. That's the most random shit in this entire episode so far. I never expected.
And we
Fortnite
talked
to
about my friend
have
having
that
a
of all things.
seizure on a plane.
And an apparent exorcism and Ouija boards. Great topic so far.
No.
But that's. I mean, I'll be honest. When it comes to Fortnite, of all games, they've added and done so many crossovers. That is one I would have never expected them to have added. That is the most random, I think, crossover I have heard of for Fortnite. On one hand, I know a fair bit about Dr. King and his speech as well as his life, because back in school, even at the ripe age of I think I was 6 or 7, I did a full report on his biography. His entire life. So I know a fair bit because of the historical research I've done. And I can tell you, why would Fortnite pick that up of all things? It's a great historic event. It's very meaningful. It is a fantastic moment in history. It's a great time for people of color to rise up against the oppression they were facing.
That's
But
right. Fuck you, Ryan. We're rising up.
Why Fortnite? I'm tan people count too.
Yeah.
But why would Fortnite pick this up, though, of all things? Though, why?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to have it represented, but I was thinking, please do not let them bring pickaxes or default dances or anything. Please, Epic Games, have a bit of mercy.
You can't dab. Like, they turned off
Okay,
emotes
good.
and that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm so happy because they can't dab at the Lincoln Memorial during Dr. King's speech. Thank you, Epic Games. I don't know. I feel like it's a cool idea. I do like the fact that they added the event in a way. It's cool people can go and experience it in a sense and learn about it. But at the same time, why? Fortnite?
I mean,
why did they do it?
I see I think there's two sides to this, because the majority of the Fortnite audience are kids, so I guess they might as well learn something whilst they get some victory royales. But for example, Martin Luther King was a big-time socialist guy, so I don't think he would enjoy seeing his work being used for profit.
If you went back in time and showed Dr. King what his legacy would eventually consist of, and this was part of it, first off, he'd be like, what the hell is a video game? What is Fortnite? What's this magic box you brought here with the red ring of death on it? What is this? Is it a bomb? No, it's a game console. But I don't know. I feel like you probably wouldn't appreciate it very much. Yeah. Again, I don't know. I like the idea of it. I like the addition of it in media. But Fortnite, I keep going back to it. I get what they might be trying to go with trying to educate kids on it. Because, again, a lot of young kids play Fortnite. They may not know about it, or maybe they're not as educated. But, again, why Fortnite? You could have done it with so many other things. You could have done it on this show. This show would have been better than Fortnite, and that's not saying much.
Yeah, it's so Ryan, today I'm going to tell you I had a dream the other day, right? So, I saw a tweet that was the existence of Martin Luther King in Fortnite explains that there was racial segregation in Fortnite at one point.
Gosh. The real dream Emilio had nothing to do with Fortnite. He met his hero, Tom Cruise, his favorite movie actor of all time. It's not Daniel Brühl.
Too.
Well, that's why he was like, okay, fine. You caught me. Scientologist meeting. Emilio walks up to Tom Cruise, wants to meet him, meets his hero. He dedicated his entire life to Scientology, shakes his hand. He sharts as soon as he sees Tom Cruise, though. He has to go through the entire production as a result of it. He smells the entire time. Then he wakes up and he sees, holy shit, MLK's in Fortnite, and immediately forgets about it.
That's cool. Another poop joke from Ryan for the books. I feel like that's actually the first poop. The first poop joke of the season was the pooping in the shower meme.
That was the shit in the shower thing. Hopefully no one's writing fan fiction of this show, because you guys are going to get banned faster than the election episode did on YouTube.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know.
It's really
But
cool that Fortnite has
yeah,
one.
it's cool. I mean, again, to kind of conclude it, I guess I like the addition of it, and I like the historical aspect of it. But why Fortnite? I keep going back to that. Fortnite, of all things, I would never have expected it to be in. That's the last thing I would have thought.
I mean, I am probably the last person to talk about this because I didn't go to to school in the United States, but I do know that like teaching kids about like stuff revolving racism, like you guys are kind of bad at it.
Yeah,
Uh,
not
I've
all of us are like that. I mean, I'm clearly not, guys. I mean, look at me. I
yeah
I, I advocate for the Smurfs movie, and that was terrible. They
no,
don't have the same voice.
but it is an issue in the United States. Like some school
No,
districts try to ban the discussion of like
I mean,
slavery, segregation. You know, like
I'll be
trying
honest.
to ban critical race theory and this
I don't
stuff.
like that. I have heard of there have been many cases of schools both in my area as well as
Yeah,
across the states where people have they protested the removal of that discussion from school. They've requested monuments being torn down. This isn't anything new. It's still going on, but it's nothing new ultimately. But it is an issue. People are
yeah,
trying to erase the past and they don't want to talk about it. But it's important to remember that though, so we don't repeat those same mistakes for the future. You have to preserve that in a way. So I mean, I don't know. It's a fine line. I like how the fact we went from Fortnite to
yeah,
the history of segregation.
yeah.
This is
Um,
what you've done, Epic Games. But it is
yeah.
important though,
So
regardless.
the thing is, Fortnite shouldn't have to do this. Like
Exactly.
schools
Like
should
why?
be, schools should have the ability to teach kids the
Yeah, why are
horrors
we
of the
relying on Epic
past.
Games of all companies to teach us
Yeah,
about racism being bad, and yet schools are trying to erase it? When
on
people think of any
on
racism, they're not going to
International
think
Gamer Day, nonetheless.
exactly.
Shaking my head
When kids 30 years from now, they will remember that racism is bad and it's not right. But it's not going to be because they
because they
learned it in
played
school. They're going to think,
Fortnite.
Fortnite? Oh man, racism is bad. Fortnite.
Oh man.
I don't. I don't know. Like I said, you shouldn't have to rely on Fortnite for it. Epic Games, I appreciate the fact you added it, but please unban my account. I swear I didn't illegally download the Will Smith skin this time. I promise.
Uh, anyways, moving along. When Ryan mentioned Tom Cruise and Scientology, I remember that I have a friend whose parents are Scientologists, actually. And
Oh
yeah,
wow,
yeah, yeah. But my friend, he's like
not a
big
Scientologist, or
the complete opposite because he's an actual scientist.
oh okay.
So so one time to like kind of mess with him, I told him I have this back when I was studying physics, I told him I have this issue. I know that you can help me because you're a Scientologist.
Oh god.
That was funny. But no, Scientologists believe in a lot of crap. It's probably a lot more crap than horoscopes. Uh,
Probably. And the thing they both have in common is Tom Cruise is prevalent in both of them.
yeah,
So you guys can keep that in mind.
and they don't have a
Mr.
Fortnite
Cruise,
skin.
well, the sooner they do it, the better. Because then we can get it banned faster. Because
Yeah.
inevitably they'll do it.
I mean, in my city, Scientology got kind of banned.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
I've
I
never even
always
heard of Scientology around my area, to be honest. It's never something that's ever crossed my mind.
well, I mean, in the bigger cities, it's more common, right? So no, but I remember I used to work at a news station, and I had to every day I took the worm. We've discussed what the worm is, the public
Yeah.
transport in my city. So I would
Or the
always take
ride.
the main route, the first route. We call it the one train. So I was always riding it, and every day I passed in front of Scientology, and every day I thought it'd be really cool if for a podcast I walked into there and see what happens. But no,
Oh my
it's
god.
actually pretty dangerous. I wouldn't if I went with someone, but like I wouldn't go alone. Like no way. Anyways, but one day
Uh
I was just riding through the worm, and I passed in front of the building where the Scientology church was always, and it was completely empty. Like they raided it, like nothing. Like within a day, it was gone. Like
oh my wait,
Scientology
because
just disappeared.
the people who ran the church took it, or people just came in and just stole everything in there.
I don't know. I think they just lost a lot of assets. But
Probably at that
it
point.
was just weird how it disappeared within a day. But I didn't know that in my city it was like very popular at one point. Uh, but yeah, I think I don't understand fully, but I think they believe that you have like this sort of power in your soul or some type of crap like that, right? And then if you go to Scientology for sessions, they can help you unleash that potential and
Uh,
you'll become an enlightened Tom Cruise super god. Uh, Obviously, they charge you for those sessions. Um,
I I
but
like the fact the further we go for these episodes, the more prevalent it is. We start getting into more topics that'll definitely get us banned on YouTube.
I mean, not banned. This show will get us killed. Like the other day, I watched a documentary of like Scientology, and there's like a lot of ex-members that say they have to like move away because after leaving the church, just because like they would show up at airports and like scream like let's say you just left Scientology and you arrive at an airport, they wait you out at the gate and call you like rapist or like pedophile, like try to defame
Great.
you. Yeah.
My
So
word. Well,
where do we go
well,
from here?
while we're talking about great organizations, the organization that I will proudly proclaim, however, I'm part of is PETA.
I knew
PETA
you
is
were
a great
gonna say PETA.
PETA is a great organization, guys. Well, I mean, you should know. You helped co-found the organization, so I would hope you know we're both part of it at this point.
Yeah.
Although I will admit, okay. So initially, when we formed the organization, Amelia and I were actually trying to taste every exotic meat out there in existence, every tiger, lion, everything. People eating tasty animals was supposed to be an organization where we just have great cookouts. We cook out every week. We try exotic foods. It's great. Then some assholes came in there and they're like, guys, this is wrong. You shouldn't be hunting animals.
Yeah, we're
Let's
vegan
save
now.
them. Yeah, they turned us vegan. They transformed the organization. And unfortunately, to this day, they're running our organization to the ground, man. One of these
Yeah.
days, we got to take it back.
Yeah,
We will
PETA
eat all the animals.
PETA originally stood for pretty exotic, terrible meats. The M is silent.
Oh
Um,
my, yeah, definitely.
I don't know. PETA, like on a serious note, PETA, I think sometimes they miss the mark like incredibly, but sometimes
They
they do
do.
like good job. I
I'm not
think.
going to say they don't have good moments because I feel like they do. But the problem with PETA is even if there are, okay, so a lot of the things they target people for, whether it be movies or celebrities or whoever, a lot of their reasons are typically really stupid why they
Yeah,
target them. It's for the littlest things. And then when they do have an actual point, as rare as it might be, they completely bungle it on social media somehow.
I don't know. I think one time they compared like slaughterhouses for like chicken to like slavery or something like that, and sometimes they like I don't know they lack sort of the I guess you could say intersectionality, right? Like they only look at stuff through one lens.
Yeah,
Because
I
for
feel like
example, like Native American tribes, for example, hunting is like a big part of their culture.
yeah, it's their way of life. It is
You're
part of their
right.
culture.
But PETA sees them the same way that like sort of like Tyson chicken uh does this horrible production sort of system, right? They see it as the same
That
thing, but in reality
yeah, because
it's not at all.
no, it's not. I mean, it kind of reminds me of like there's a documentary that came out a long time ago. It's like the early 2000s. I watched it when I was back in grade school, and it was like elementary school or something like that. Lo and behold, they showed a documentary from McDonald's where they showed like the treatment of their chickens and whatnot, but before they're processed. PETA latched onto that even back in those days and called McDonald's out for their cruel and, and inhumane
I
treatment of their
mean,
animals before they're slaughtered. I mean, I'm not
there's
saying they don't have a case there, but what I will say is I feel like McDonald's was so pissed off at their comments, they deliberately break down every ice cream machine before you go in because I can never get a milkshake if I ever go there. It's just
yeah,
not
no.
possible.
There's a lot of
PETA
unethical
ruined
things with
milkshake. PETA,
McDonald's.
unfortunately, well, they ruined milkshake. So I feel like at that point, it doesn't matter what they do. They can't ever make up for it now.
By the way, fight for 15. We're raising the minimum wage so Ryan can pay his alimony debt. Don't
Please,
do it for
guys.
the don't do it for the exploited workers during COVID. Do it for Ryan, everybody.
Yeah, do it for me, guys. It's not even about my alimony debt. My alimony debt's been paid off for a long time now, ever since last season. What I really need the money for now is being a fugitive because you faked your death like I did last season. Like that costs a lot of money, guys. So please don't bother helping these poor, underpaid workers working in terrible conditions during a worldwide pandemic. Give it to me so I can afford my current safe house where I'm recording this episode
Yeah.
with Emilio from. I need pay rent. My bosses are going to take my guys. They're going to take my thumbs if I don't get the $500 here soon. So please.
uh, no, but see, I don't know. I've watched recently like many like documentaries about fast food in the United States, and it's very like exploitative, like from like
It
the
really
farms
is.
to the working areas. Like holy
I mean,
crap!
I'll be honest. A lot of the documentaries that I've watched over the years, the animals are not treated very well at all before they're sent off to the slaughterhouse, and
I'm also
it's
talking
it's
about the
kind of
people at the stores.
well, the people. Well, I mean, I
Mm,
think of it from both ends: the animals that are processed, but then the people who work in the conditions. Because I'll put it to you this way: when I first started going for a job a few years back, the advice that I had gotten frequently was, "Don't work in fast food. It's
yeah,
not worth it. You're working in terrible conditions." As it turns out, seems pretty right because I've
yeah,
known people that have worked in the fast food industry. No one really likes it. There's a Burger
yeah,
King near my house. They're going through so many employees because, terrible hours, terrible pay. The working conditions aren't that great. The management's not amazing at all. It's so hot in there. You have to work around food 24/7 if you're working around the kitchen. The conditions aren't great for fast food joints.
yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, in Mexico it is kind of different. Like the big chains like Starbucks, McDonald's, Burger King, like those, they're like the same conditions and the same like
Food?
shitty. Yeah, food. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, food.
Shitty wages. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
But
that too.
when it comes to like the smaller restaurants, they kind of get like better deal. I mean, I literally
Oh,
live
yeah, yeah.
right behind a restaurant, and I hear them talking all day, and they have a blast. They have more fun than I do. Uh,
I mean,
it
come
is
on, but
kind of
do
awkward.
they, I mean, come on, but do they run a podcast though? Are they
That
part of a
is true.
podcast? Therefore, you have the better deal, I feel.
Yeah, but I listen to their like shitty music all day.
You just- well, we would play music on here, but copyright.
Yeah, no, but what I was getting is like the smaller restaurants, they always have the same employees, at least in my area. They're right, so it's not like a revolving door just because it's like horrible conditions.
I can actually relate to that when it comes to like the same staff. It, with the exception of a few stores and like restaurants in my area, most of the people that are there, they're there for a long time. They don't change up the
Yeah,
staff at all. Now there are some restaurants like the Burger King I described that have gone through staff like pissing in a bucket. You go through it so quick. It's
yeah,
it's interesting because some restaurants or like stores, you'll see they'll have the same staff for like 10 years. The
yeah.
people will be there no matter how old or how young, they'll have the same consistent staff.
Yeah,
And then
and you
you go to
kind
a
of like
store
get
next
to know
door.
them as well. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's like a community thing. You get to know them, you say hey to them, maybe string up a conversation every once in a while. But then you have a restaurant down the street that's like they're going through staff members every week because the work conditions are so terrible, the pay's awful, the management's awful,
yeah,
employees quit or they're fired so frequently that you can't really adapt to it, especially a community.
yeah. Like in my area, like all the ones that are like chain sort of businesses, not just restaurants, they have like a revolving door, right? Like it's always
Yeah,
different people. uh,
that's
which
that's fortunate.
now that we're talking about like sort of the service industry, my Japanese teacher, I remember one time he told me about how they scam foreigners in Japan, specifically like students. So like he explained to me that the most like period, like your visa in Japan if you're a student, the longest period you can get, I think it was like 2 years, right? So most students try to get a job, right, to like pay for whatever they need.
Yeah,
And most of them get jobs at convenience stores, just like Ryan, who works at 7-Eleven.
it definitely 7-Eleven. He definitely did get the name of the place wrong again.
I always
The
forget
7-Eleven.
the freaking name. I'm sorry. Anyways, but he told me that what they do is that they give you so if you have like a 3-year visa, they give you a 4-year contract. So once your visa expires, You either try to renew it, which takes forever, and during that period you can't work. So you get deported if you work, basically. So what these companies do is that they bet on your visa expiring before the contract. So when your visa expires, they can sue you for breach of contract.
Well,
So shout out to everyone.
Yeah. Reminder to if you're a student, don't go to Japan and get a job there.
Well,
If
at
you're
least don't
going
work
to,
at 7-Eleven.
well, you guys could always work at like some manga comic shop though, like just some like kawaii cat mascot, and like they'll never
Yes,
catch
Ryan,
you.
Japan is exactly like anime, you racist.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I love anime. Japan, you've produced so many great anime and manga over the years that I've
Yeah, like
enjoyed.
Gravity Falls. My favorite
That's not
anime.
it's not even an anime. Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like my favorite one, I think, ultimately outside of Pokemon. That's pretty cool. But no, I've never even thought about that.
Yeah,
always wanted to go to Japan at some point, but I didn't know that that was a practice when it
yeah,
comes to you have students come in, work for you, and then get more money out of them when they can no longer stay there. I'd ever heard about that, to be honest.
yeah. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is completely messed up. I mean, you're a student though. How much money are they expected to get out of you at that point? You're staying on a freaking visa in
Yeah.
another country. How much money do they
Well,
expect you
I
to have?
mean, it's not the same as being a student in the United States. School isn't as expensive, right? But still.
Yeah, but even so, that man, if you put it to this way, even if I get the pantsuit off me, I'm probably paying less than my college student loans here in the United States. So maybe I'm better off getting sued from Japan.
You show up and it's like, oh, here's your contract, sign it, and you're like, cool. Uh, can you sue me, please?
He's like, wait, you want us to sue you now and not wait 2 years till the visa expires? Yeah, bro. But dude, let me tell you, I get to stay here longer because for the court case, and I have to pay way less than my student loan debt in America. Please keep me here for as long as you want.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of. In the United States is really expensive. I had a friend that paid like her tuition just working at a movie theater for like a year. So,
Wow. Like, did she get like free movies, like
yeah,
access to free film?
yeah. Here
I've
they
always
have
wondered
this
if that was a
thing.
benefit.
Here they have this thing where like when a movie premieres, they have the staff the staff screening only for the people that work there. Yeah.
I'm just curious because I was watching a movie earlier before we started recording this, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, and it kind of reminded me of like I saw the first film in theaters in 4 years ago in 2017, and I was kind of thinking to myself, "Huh, what would it be nice if you had the theater experience but didn't have to pay for it?" And then when you mentioned that, I'm like, "Holy crap! I should work at a movie theater. Forget the
Yeah.
store I'm working at now. I should just work at the movie theater."
I don't know
No.
how it is in the United States, but yeah, no.
I'm just saying, when it comes to like, well, movie theaters, for example, if you don't want to bother paying for a ticket, strike up a conversation with a random stranger that did pay to get in, walk into the theater with them, and just keep talking and sneak your way in. I guarantee you people have done it.
I just downloaded it illegally. I don't know.
I mean, Emilio's done that multiple times, and he's on like how many watch lists already. So, sure, if you want to do that, go for it. It works.
Definitely the best option.
Breaking the
yeah.
law, everybody.
So, how much do you owe in student debt right now?
I don't know exactly, to be honest with you.
Like
I mean,
an estimate.
Like an estimation. More than $1.
Holy crap!
Yeah, I know, it's
That's
crazy.
the entire budget of this show.
I know. Exactly. It was less than $1.
No, seriously, dude. Like, how much? I'm curious.
Is it? I don't even know, man. Last count was like 4 years so far for me, so I think like 25 G's, something like that.
25,000.
Yeah, it's not that bad though in comparison to what it would be. When I was planning out my college excursion, for those of you who live in the U.S., you might be able to relate to this a bit more. But there's colleges here, for example, for 4-year programs. Mine is actually one of the cheaper ones, and I'll be able to pay it off better because of the lower amount and the rate and everything. So I'll pay it off in less time than people who go to other colleges because there are other universities that offer the same kind of degrees I'm going for. Take a guess on how much those other colleges want because of the location they're in for a 4-year basic degree. Take a guess.
50,000.
No,
Not even close.
it's more.
I don't know. 80,000.
$100,000.
100,000. Jesus Christ.
Yep. 100 grand is the university specifically for a 4-year degree, unless you have some crazy scholarships. 100 grand for a
Dude,
4-year
what
degree.
happened to your football scholarship we were gonna get?
Well, you see, guys, the thing is, turns out if you lie about playing football, you don't get a football scholarship, as it turns out.
Didn't you hear about
So,
Varsity Blues?
well, I mean, I tried faking it, and the coach called me out, and the football team just beat the crap out of me afterwards. Like, it wasn't a fun time. And I still lost the scholarship and had hospital bills.
Which are also expensive in the US.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, I owe like $100,000 in just hospital bills alone. I mean, I've died on this show like 4 times. I mean, like, you know how much it costs to revive you at a hospital? A
Yeah.
lot.
So the previous school I was at, the semester was 30,000 peso, which is $150 a semester.
Wow.
And
I'm jealous of your college rates.
the one I'm currently, it's 60,000 a month, but I have 40% scholarship. So if I didn't have the scholarship, I would pay $300 a month. But since I have a scholarship, I just pay like less, a little bit over $100, like 150, saying.
Wow. So that's where
Yeah.
the budget for this show goes. The college that Emilio isn't accumulating.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I heard a podcast the other day of this guy was talking about how his college roommate left in the middle of the semester and transferred to like the Czech Republic just because it was so much more cheaper, and plus she got healthcare. So and when, like he said, last time I saw her, I asked her if she was gonna move back to California, and she said that no freaking way. Also, California is very expensive. So.
Yeah, California to live in, period. Like, taking college out of it, just for living. You know, like, you see the stereotypical, like, big-time YouTuber live out there
Unless you
in Los
become
Angeles.
a big-time YouTuber.
Yeah, unless you become a big-time YouTuber, then you can't afford the $3 million mansions that exist out there. Unless you're, like, Mr. Beast level rich, then you could definitely make it. But if you're not, well, unfortunately for you, Bucko, Ryansville, Pennsylvania welcomes everybody, as long as you're willing to sleep in a dumpster.
Yeah,
There's a dumpster for you.
Well, with the homeless crisis in California, there's already a lot of people sleeping in the streets. So,
Yeah, well, then we need to recruit them. We need to make it a nation. The step 2 of us making it a complete country is the population. So people from dumpster divers in California, please come to Ryansville. We will accept anybody.
University.
Yeah, which is the best college. It's a raccoon who's actually the leading professor there. He'll give you guys all sorts of great degrees.
Yeah, our degrees are pencil making,
petty theft,
password remembering. That's a good one.
Shaving. Something Emilio knows how to do, I guess. I mean, he doesn't have any facial hair, never has, but you know.
Yeah,
hey,
but my pubes, Ryan.
Well, that's true. Well, putting on your face isn't part of the class, though. That's like the extra class, though. Using glue.
Using glue. Using scissors. Sometimes it's easier.
Running with scissors, the after class. Going to the emergency room, the following class after that. You know, we have you guys all set up there.
And psychology, which is the only real degree we have. But okay.
What a great degree from Gainesville. No, but for like California specifically, living there, it's one of the most expensive states, if not the most expensive state to live in the United States. I can tell you from the rent alone for your standard apartment, I have a ballpark estimate, but Amelia, take a guess on what rent would be. Just your basic standard apartment, like one room. How much do you think rent is in California?
Like every month?
Yeah, every month. How much do you think?
$1,000.
No.
5,000?
A little less.
2,000?
It's a, it's about $3,000. It's about
Three
$3,000 a
grand.
month. $3,000 a month, about the last estimation that I had seen, to rent a single room, roughly a small apartment in
Okay.
California. And that's an apartment, not a house. That's not
Price.
counting food, utilities, or anything else. I'm curious
Rent
to see what
price
the rate is
California.
now.
I want to know that. There's no. What is
Is it more
California?
or
It's 1,488.
Sue? So it went down then. Jeez Louise. That's saying something. Because
Well,
apartment estimation,
here it says it went 8%. It has an 8% increase to the previous year.
geez.
So
So it's just going up and up then. Great. Well, everyone, if you live in California, just know that your bills are just going to get more and more expensive. So have
yeah,
fun.
gentrification. I mean, Mr.
Nice.
Beast talked about like why that's why his team hadn't moved to California already, because it would just be way more expensive to have that kind of production over there.
Yeah. Plus, I feel like as far as California goes, like it's a stereotype for YouTubers. Like, oh, if you're a big YouTuber, you're probably stationed out in like a big city like Los Angeles. Like, I wouldn't move out to Los Angeles. I would rather be like Mr. Beast is stationed in North Carolina. I would rather be in a place like that. Like I wouldn't big city, no thank you. I'm good.
No, but I don't think people move. They move there to network with other YouTubers just because it's easier. That's
I'm good. Like for example, if I would make a trip out to LA to collab with some YouTubers or like arrange some deals or something like that for like a company, but I wouldn't live in Los Angeles. There's no way. I'd fly out, but I wouldn't live there. I'm fine living here in the East
Ryansville,
Coast away
Pennsylvania.
from California, in the rural ends of Ryansville. I'm fine here. Thank you very much. Not
Uh,
the Cali scene isn't for me.
I mean, I would if like my job required me to do so. So, but it's not
Well,
something that I
unfortunately,
dream of going like, oh, I'm gonna move to LA.
nah, I wouldn't. I would want to visit LA because I've been to California in the past. I was in California a few years ago, but I didn't go through LA. I was by LA, but I didn't go in LA specifically. But I was by there, and I can tell you from the look of it, yeah, it's about as big as what everyone says it is.
Well, that's because you're a small town boy
So,
living in a lonely
lonely
world.
world, don't stop. Oh gosh, this
This show just got copyrighted.
is gonna get copyright strike just for like a few second vocal clip. Didn't we have a? I don't remember if it was last episode or the episode before, but we played a small snippet of "Take on Me,"
Oh, I cut
and it
it
didn't make the
out.
final cut.
Yeah, no, I cut it
That's what I
out.
figured.
Is there something you would like to discuss before
Uh,
closing down the
to be
episode?
to be honest, not necessarily. But we've covered a lot of stuff today, and I will say this much, especially when it comes to, again, I think the weirdest thing we talked about was definitely the MLK Fortnite thing. That's the most bizarre and left field thing.
Yep.
I still can't believe that's a real thing, apparently. But I would say, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever play Fortnite and you ever want to reach out to the creators, follow us on follow the show on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcast, Pocket Podcast, Breaker, and many freaking more.
Well, that's pretty
Remember,
cool.
I definitely didn't steal that from anybody either on the
Well,
show.
I don't think
I,
so. There's one
oh,
thing
thank
on
goodness.
Anchor that you're not mentioning, I think.
So yeah, send. Oh yeah, that's right. Send us your nudes. No, send us. Please don't send us those. I don't think it's possible, but please don't. You can send us a voice memo on Anchor. So
Whoa.
let us.
And you might be featured. As for me, you can check me out on my YouTube channel, The Boss and the Nostalgia Factor, where I don't really post. Or you could also check out my podcast that I did for like a month and forgot about. Look at the description.
More episodes are coming. I've been busy. I'm planning content. Thank you very much for my channels and podcast. Well, if you want to follow my crappy content, check out Smelly Cheese on YouTube, where I do skits and parodies. And I just made this video, the Dabbing Man, or whatever that video was. You guys can also check out Smelly Cheese B, my second channel that is practically dead at this point because YouTube wants to shut it down so badly, where these video versions of the podcast go up. Follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and my merch store that I've never talked about in like 3 years. So yeah, I think that about summarizes it.
Yeah. Uh, let's never do that again. I'm very confused. Uh,
Uh, you guys all got pranked. That the stuff Amelia said was actually mine, and the stuff I said was actually Amelia's. You guys totally got pranked. You guys all fell
yeah.
for it.
And what did Toby said? You know, the third host. Everybody
But,
loves Toby.
oh shit, that's right. Well, what about Corey though? Corey, what
Corey
happened to him?
hasn't showed up to the recording for like 5 months. You know, I've called
Damn
his
it.
house. No one picks up. Every time I drive by there, it smells like really weird. You know, Corey might be dead.
I mean, who knows? I mean, it's been like 3 months though. You think the smell wouldn't be there anymore after a while? So I don't
Yeah.
know. I find it funny. Like if people are watching the show for the first time and they get to this part, they're like, "Wait, there's actually a third host. Where has he been this whole time?"
Yeah. No, everybody, there's no host. It's always just me and Ryan.
Yeah, there's no
Ryan's supposed
Corey
to
or
Ryan's supposed to bring in the guests, but as of
no,
today, he's brought 0 guests. Exactly.
I've asked plenty of people. No one wants to come on. Actually, well, granted, the person I've asked, a buddy of mine from YouTube, that I think the time that had the most success added to it, I asked him to be on here because he runs his own podcast. Never got back to us for it, but then he came on my show, so maybe he just doesn't like trash talk. I don't know.
Maybe the name is just too offensive.
Maybe. Yeah, just like that one guy last season. What a shame.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.
See you guys.